Should you start with the acoustic or the electric guitar? I've had a lot of students pass through my studio. I've been teaching guitar for almost 2 decades. I've had students start with either on the acoustic or the electric, and they have all learned successfully. But here are some things to look out for, whether or not you should start with the acoustic or the electric guitar, some pros and cons so that you can choose the one that is best for you. First, let's start off with the good old acoustic guitar. Advantage number 1 is that you don't need any extra gear to create a sound. So with the electric guitar, you're going to need some extra gear, things like that. The advantage of this is that you just have your acoustic. It's going to sound like it's going to sound, and you don't have to plug into anything to create the sound that you want. 2 is that the acoustic guitar is classic. It's timeless. You can start learning your favorite songs right away, and you don't need any extra equipment, like I had said in point number 1. Advantage number 3 is that this will build your technique and your finger strength like none other. But keep at it, because then those sore fingers turn into calluses, and you're really pretty much unstoppable, really. This left hand is super strong. Now let's get into some disadvantages. The first one is that the string tension is higher, and it's harder to push down on the strings, and that can be really frustrating for a beginner. I've had hundreds of beginners in my studio in front of me just pouring out their hearts and woes of like, my fingers are on fire.
And it burns, burns, burns.
Is it ever going to get any better? And the answer to that is yes. Some advice that I give my students on working through the sore fingertips is that instead of practicing for maybe 30 minutes, try practice 15 minutes at a time, take a little break, and then practice for another 15 minutes. So break it up and practice more frequently, but in shorter spurts. And it just really helps just to help develop the calluses faster, and then they're not as frustrated and their fingers they feel like they're not going to bleed. The second thing that you can do is you can actually change your strings to a lighter gauge, and just be aware that it will change the tone of your guitar, because the lighter the string, the brighter the tone usually. So it can help with the initial pain, but then you can always switch back to a larger gauge or thicker gauge string, and then that's going to beef out the tone a little bit more, or just find the sweet spot which you would like. So string changes can be a quick, easy, and relatively inexpensive way to change the tone of your guitar, but also the touch. Second disadvantage is that there's limited sound options. I mean, there's other fancy acoustic electrics out there that kind of are a hybrid of both, but it depends upon what you want to spend your money on. This, it has its classic sound. You can run it through some pedals if you would like to, but there's just only so much you can do with it. And 3 is the body size. So I'm barely 5 feet tall. I am a petite woman, and I learned on a dreadnought, like this big old guitar. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's a big guitar on a little person, but this is what I learned on. This is what I'm comfortable with. But for a lot of people, it's just maybe they don't know that there are different sizes out there. There's also different neck scales. There's also different nut widths. So the sky is the limit. Now let's get into the advantages, the disadvantages of electric guitar. First advantages is that it's easier to play. Thinner strings, lower action, and often slimmer necks make it physically easier to fret the notes from chord to chord. This can reduce finger pain and help beginners learn faster. 2 is sound options or flexibility. So you can run this through effects pedals and really just shape the tone of whatever style that you want. It's really fun. It can be quite a rabbit hole, to be perfectly honest. So in order to remedy that, I have a fractal. I had a pedal board with individual pedals, and I loved it, but at the same time, every time I wanted something new or to play with it, I had to buy a new pedal, and that can get expensive. Really expensive. I just went ahead and bought a fractal, and then I can just input all of these different sounds, play with these different layers of sounds, and it has really worked for me. The sky's the limit with the sounds that you can create, just the possibilities, and it's really fun. Yes. Now, the third one has been actually a selling point for some of my students' parents, is that you can actually control the volume of the instrument. With the acoustic guitar, you have one volume. Now, with the electric, you can actually plug some headphones into an amp, and then you can practice away with all of your different tones and things like that without disturbing others. Now, disadvantage would be the potential higher initial cost. I mean, with the acoustic guitar, you only need one thing, and that's your guitar. With the electric, you need to plug it into something to actually shape the tone. And so you just at very least you need an amp, but then you're going to need, of course, a cable, and then you might want some different effects, so you're going to play them with some pedals. It really can get really expensive. And then the last advantage is less natural play without your gear. I mean, really, you don't need a lot. I feel like the industry tries to sell you like, you need this, you need this, and you need this. It's like, really what you really need is a good clean sound and a good distortion, or just like a crunchy sound, really. But it's you learning how to draw the tone out of the instrument with those two tones. That's my personal opinion. Other people may disagree with me, and that is okay. But I think that you can get lost in just the gear versus learning how to actually play. So the long and the short of it is that starting on either one isn't going to hinder your musical progress. Starting on electric or acoustic, I've seen my students be successful at both and switching between the two. So really there's no disadvantage there. But think about the kind of music that you want to play and what is going to help you get there. Is it going to be the electric or the acoustic? I laid out some pros and cons. Let me know some pros and cons that you thought of that I didn't think of. Put that in the comment section below, because that is my favorite part of YouTube. All right, or if you started on acoustic or electric, what I want to know. Okay, have a great day, and remember, you are loved. Bye.